So now we're going to go over removal, how we remove lashes, the types of removal options. Generally, there are two kind of times that a client would want to have their lashes removed. Maybe three, but two main ones. So if a client has had an allergic reaction and we need to get those lashes off, or if some clients just have lashes as a one-off set. So they might be getting married, they might be going on holiday, and then over time the eyelash extensions shed with the natural lashes and they're left with a few that don't look the prettiest and they don't want to have an infill. So they'll come in and have them removed. Obviously, there may be the odd circumstance, which is going to be so rare, that a client dislikes what you've done and you may have to remove. But yeah, fingers crossed that never happens. Removal techniques. So you can remove with tweezers, and we call it the banana peel technique. And what that means is, so when you have your natural eyelash and you have your extension and you place your extension onto the natural eyelash, let's say it's this way. So you've got your natural eyelash here and your extension here. If you wanted to remove with your tweezers, you would get the tweezers and you would grab the natural lash with the end of your tweezers and the extension with the end of your tweezers, and you would literally just peel the extension off the natural lash, and that is what is called a banana peel. So if a client does come in and they've just got a few left on and they'd rather them be taken off professionally rather than trying to do it themselves and potentially causing damage and pulling out their natural lashes, it makes more sense to just banana peel those extensions off, and that is not going to cause any damage to the lashes. I mean, lots of lash artists will banana peel for any type of removal, whether it be an allergic reaction or a full set that they need to remove. It might be that a client has gone elsewhere and their eyes are in a little bit of pain, so they come to you for removal. My preferred option would always be tweezers, if it allows. If you're doing a banana peel and you're struggling to peel the extension off the natural eyelash and you've used too much glue, we will show you a banana peel in the practical element. There is also another option, which is using remover. So remover is a really good way to remove a full set of eyelash extensions. The only real reason I would ever think a client would want a full set removed is if they're having an allergic reaction. If you can't banana peel, you are going to need to use a remover. So removers come from most lash suppliers in either like a gel consistency or a cream consistency. And what you need to do when you are removing, I mean, there is a step-by-step here, but you get the client to lay down and close their eyes. I generally do tape the bottom lashes. You place some remover, so you can just put it on like a little lipstick wand or a little micro brush, and you just put the gel or the cream on the base of all of those extensions. And what happens is that adhesive remover just breaks down the adhesive, so it turns that solid back into a liquid. What you do need to be aware of, though, if you are removing in the case of an allergic reaction, that by turning the adhesive from a solid back into a liquid, it is going to release some of those vapors. So in the short term, it can cause a little bit more irritation. But as soon as all of those lashes are off, the eyes feel better. So yes, you would put the product onto the eyes, leave the client there for maybe 10-15 minutes, let that remover do what it needs to do, and then you can just literally brush with your mascara wand and those lashes will all come out. The odd couple you might have to banana peel, but generally that is how you would remove eyelash extensions. What you need to remember is once all of those eyelash extensions are off, there is still a fair amount of remover on the eyes and adhesive that has turned from a solid into a liquid. Now, when we want to then clean the eyes, if we put too much water onto the eyes and there is that liquid adhesive on, we are going to cause shock curing. So what we want to do is make sure all of that remover is gone. You can use cotton pads, cotton buds, lipstick ones, just to make sure all of that remover is gone, all of that adhesive has gone, and then we can cleanse the eyes to avoid shock curing. Hopefully that makes sense. So there's removal via tweezers and there is removal via remover, like a lash remover. Aftercare and infills. So this kind of adds on to removal. When we are doing infills, for example, we will have to banana peel some of the eyelashes. So with the natural eyelashes, as they do have a 90-day cycle, they all are growing at different rates. So when we do eyelash extensions and we place extensions onto, almost 100% of the natural eyelashes, a lot of those lashes are going to be at the telogen phase where they're about to shed. So within the next few days, they are going to shed and new lash growth will come through. And then you've got your catagen, which are kind of the growth phase. So when they come back for their infill, you might notice that you see quite a lot of the natural lash and the extension hanging off the end. We don't want to leave those on. So any naturals that have grown out a little bit and the extensions are kind of hanging off, we're going to banana peel and replace extensions. And that is why we have infills, because one, the lashes shed and new growth comes through, and two, the lashes grow out and the extensions grow out and we need to remove and replace. In terms of aftercare, obviously we are going to explain aftercare in our consultation. You're going to have aftercare in the consultation form that the client signs, but it's really important to explain your aftercare when your client leaves. Give them a little aftercare card in an aftercare kit with a lash cleanser and a little foam pump bottle and a little brush that they can clean their eyelashes with. We retail our eyelash extension kits for £10, and actually by retailing it does bring in a lot of extra money into the business. So the cleansing kit, cleansing brush and mascara wands, foam pump bottle and cleansing sachet. So that's what you could use. Back in the day, we used to use baby shampoo, but it's not actually covered by insurance. So I would actually always recommend a cleansing sachet from a lash supplier. And then, like I say, you can put some aftercare instructions in. Aftercare is generally going to be cleanse the lashes. We want to make sure the lashes stay clean. We want to remove any dirt, debris, oils that build up during the day, makeup, or that can cause your lashes to prematurely come off. Oils don't break down the bond, but it will get underneath them and cause them to slide off. Avoid makeup around the eye area. Avoid products, cleansers containing oil. Try not to rub your eyelashes. Try not to pick your eyelashes. Avoid sleeping on your face, and then brush with your mascara wand daily. And that is the mascara wand that you give to your client once you've finished doing that eyelash extensions. On the odd occasion, clients will come to their infill appointments with tons of makeup. That's going to make your job so difficult. So make sure it's clear that they need to come with clean lashes. Again, for me, I like to cleanse my clients' eyelashes before an infill just to make sure I am working from a clean base and it adds moisture. I mean, most of my clients now will cleanse for me before they come because they would rather have that extra time lashing. If they are wearing a lot of makeup, it's going to take me, 10-15 minutes into their appointment to clean all that makeup off, which means, if they're coming for an hour infill, they've only got 40 minutes left and they're not going to have lashes as full as they'd like. And then when they look in the mirror, I'm like, look, I'm so sorry, but I have spent most of your appointment cleaning your lashes. I don't give them extra time for free. They get an hour and that is all they get. So just make sure you're educating your clients that they need to come with clean lashes for their infills. Okay, we're going to move on to case studies next, but just before the case studies, eyelash cycle, infills. I would recommend that your clients come in for infills every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on their lash cycle. Some clients will have a quicker lash cycle, so they'll lose lashes quicker, and some clients, they'll be able to retain their lashes for longer. So it's kind of done on a case-by-case basis, and you'll be able to determine the more you get to know that client. But for us, we have clients that come in every 2 to 3 weeks.